So I seem to have rustled some jimmies in a recent YouTube short / TikTok that I posted criticizing Kyle Rittenhouse for doing meet and greets about his book called Acquitted. And now I'm being accused of drinking Bud Light with a donkey-shaped bendy straw like I'm some kind of left-leaner. People seem to misunderstand my take on the incident. I was not disagreeing with the verdict. I was not calling him a murderer. I was not supporting the individuals that he shot to any capacity. All I simply did in this YouTube short was make fun of him for playing into the community that showcases him as an American hero like he's completely innocent. So buckle up and put your scuba gear on because I'm diving headfirst into Kyle Rittenhouse. Now, the first thing we really need to do is understand the situation that was happening in Kenosha at the time. Local law enforcement received a call for a domestic dispute involving a man named Jacob Blake, in which case Jacob Blake was shot 7 times from behind by Officer Rustin Shensky. Now, apparently Jacob Blake had multiple charges and a warrant out for his arrest, and he was holding a knife, and he was tased 2 times to no avail. However, for the sake of continuity, I will show the clips of the events leading just up before the shooting. I can't show the actual shooting itself, but I will play the clip right now. So Jacob Blake can be seen walking around the vehicle trying to get away from law enforcement. It's not very clear. He's not really attacking law enforcement. He's just kind of walking away from them. So it is kind of up in the air for me on if this deadly force was really necessary. He's not really showing any clear signs of him like charging or attacking or trying to be like directly hostile. He enters this vehicle, or he's trying to enter this vehicle, and I think that like significantly increases his threat, right? So he's getting inside of a motorized vehicle. You don't know if he's going to like get in it and drive away and start driving recklessly and get into a police chase. And this is all like within mind that he has 3 kids in the car. There's 3 children in the car.
You shot him numerous times for no reason. It didn't take all that. Disregard that my kids was in the car at all. And you knew they was in there because I kept screaming that before y'all even made it to the other side of the driver's side to get him in the car.
However, in 1984, the court held that claims of excessive force used by government officials are properly analyzed under the 4th Amendment's objective reasonableness. And it was hard to say if the force here was using objective reasonableness. You shot him 7 times from behind while there were 3 children in the back of the car right there, all spectating it. I don't know about you, but shooting someone in the back is probably one of the most cowardly things you could do. And no, I don't really think it's fair to use the argument, oh, he could have grabbed a gun out of his car. He could have been going to grab a gun when he was literally holding a weapon to begin with. He was actually holding a weapon originally. Why didn't he just use the knife to begin with to any capacity? So he was just going to go for a gun. It just doesn't really seem like the story adds up or it makes sense. And also, it just kind of seems like the police are pathetically grabbing at him. And it's kind of weird because it's like they're not really even trying to tackle him or wrestle for the knife or anything. Like, I got more knife defense training out of a fucking like Shotokan karate that I did for 7 years than apparently the police did. They literally teach you to like just grab the wrist and take control. It's like you're a literal officer of the law. You should be more capable of handling these things. However, they do just kind of teach you, yep, shoot for body mass. I don't see how that's like objectively better than actually being good at your job. So after the shooting was over and he was in his hospital time healing from the events that happened, he did make a statement about the knife and said that he was going to put it back because he doesn't even realize why he grabbed it to begin with. Basically saying that he wasn't in the right headspace. He was kind of freaking out. He just kind of grabbed it out of like fight or flight, I guess, which I think makes perfect sense, but still was a stupid idea, especially for having the criminal background that he does have. It doesn't really make sense for him to have grabbed this to begin with. He definitely was a threat, but I don't think he was like a threat enough to just pop him in the back 7 times. I think this was a definite excessive use of force, and that's exactly what the protesters decided happened. the protesters decided that that was an excessive use of force and came to a conclusion that this was about racism or etc. So the Kenosha protests began. Now, when the Kenosha protests began, I feel like they definitely had a right to peacefully protest. However, I don't think either side was justified in their actions in the beginning. I believe law enforcement definitely instigated a ton of problems there. But the way that law enforcement handled it, I definitely think they're completely at fault for the riots happening to begin with. But Botched, where does Kyle Rittenhouse play into this? Now, Rittenhouse geared up and entered the red zone. Apparently, he was there to defend property. None of it was even really his property or anything, and he wasn't like employed by the government or local law enforcement to do so. He just kind of geared up, militiaed out, and went out and started instigating people. There's been multiple sources of people saying that Rittenhouse was pointing weapons in their direction. There's even allegedly been text messages before and after the shooting detailing more about how he wanted to shoot people. There's also allegedly this clip that was shown prior to the events of Kenosha.
Bro, I wish I had my alright, start shooting rounds at them.
So yes, it's funny that he wrote a book about one of his weirdest, most worst moments he could have probably ever had. Now, in my YouTube short and TikTok, I said that he was in the wrong place at the wrong time looking for trouble and he found it. Usually when people talked about victim blaming, you think about rape victims where they go, oh, she was wearing something provocative, so she was asking for it. Now, obviously, the clothes didn't jump off of the person and go fucking mind control and possess the goddamn rapist and force the rapist to go and rape the person. Like that's obviously what you're saying there with the whole Kyle Rittenhouse thing, is that he is a victim I'm victim blaming him. No, I'm not victim blaming him. All I'm saying is that if you're pointing a weapon at somebody, and don't be fucking confused when they come over to you, start beefing with you. I just think that the viewpoint of him being squeaky clean here is just a fucking pathetic thing for him to be leaning into with meet and greets. No, I'm not mad that he wasn't convicted, or even though he clearly isn't some hero that you paint him out to be. In all reality, you're mad that I took the time out of my day to make fun of your precious little idiot nugget that you worship for being somewhere contributing to chaos when he didn't need to be there. Like, he chose to do that. He's not part of the Avengers. And the only life that he might have actually ended up saving was his own during an altercation that he was more than likely part of instigating. So yes, thank you for watching. Leave a like, hit the subscribe button. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.